time, and I think the temperatures are going to come back, this week, and things are greening up, and spring is here. Maybe you want to wear a jacket out though today, or yesterday I went back and found my winter coat, because I was outside, and felt pretty good, Gracie. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Do you get chilly? Or does the baby keep you warm?
No, I still get pretty chilly.
You keep it warm though, right?
Yeah. She's just fine.
She's doing good, and
Yep.
everything fine. And I know you had a
Doing
doctor's
great.
appointment this last week, and no triplets or nothing coming. You
No.
sure?
Just one.
You know,
That's what they tell me at least.
I'm not sure Grandma could stand another set of triplets right now. I mean, we
Could not.
would love it, but I'm kidding. But
We'd figure it out somehow.
yes, we would. Yes, you would. Well, we had a blessing Sunday. We went down and had the family together, and it's they're growing amazing. You get to see them a week, once or twice a week when you babysit. I don't get to see them that often, but they're going to town, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and it's good to get together. So, hey, good for you to be together here. Sorry I missed you last week. I had a little procedure going on and couldn't make it back here, but doing well, and blessed to be back. And welcome back to the White Mule on KTUI 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, or possibly you're watching us on Facebook Live. So, Grace, you kept things in order last week?
Tried to.
Wonderful, fantastic. And Tammy Burkerhoff is here with the city of Herman. Her, let's just call her the mayor pro tem. I don't know.
Not quite.
Well, I know that you run a lot of things down there, lady, and you do a remarkable job. So many people that I communicate with in my world are very enamored about what you guys do down there and how you get it done. And so I know a key participant in that.
Okay, very good. Well, I appreciate the kudos, but it's a very exciting time, and so many people are pitching in, and businesses are doing events and creating experiences and opening up shops and stores, and it's just a really great time in Herman and in Gasconade County, for that matter.
It is. I mean, we have been blessed and fortunate to be able to live where we are in this particular period of time, because we have been able to maintain. We've got a lot of space here, so social distancing, in regard to what we do, has really not a huge issue. There's a lot of area, and all of the venues in Gasconade County are outdoor, kind of things, activity that include exercise and walking and being outside. Those are good things.
Absolutely. Well, on the north end, we have the Katy Trail, which got so much extra foot traffic and bicycling traffic last year, and we're gearing up for another really busy season with the Katy Trail, and I'm excited to eventually have that trail coming through on the southern end of the county as well. Hope that will actually be a big economic boost to
everybody,
to everyone, not just the southern end of Gasconade County, but it'll be so huge for our state. And actually, the requests that we get for information for the Katy Trail come from all over the country, and so it's really exciting to see that we're really being put on the map in a national perspective for the Katy Trail. So it's only going to get bigger once that trail
once the Rock Island, and then they have to go to Kansas City or Mount Pleasant, you know what I'm saying, to get back here. That's going to be, what, a 10-day trip?
It is.
A 10-day trip between
Highway 19.
Rosebud and,
Yeah, with Highway 19 being that north-south corridor to connect those trails, it's going to be amazing for this area. So I'm really excited to see what entrepreneurs in this area will do. Will they start a B&B or a guest house? Will they start a little shop? Will there be a bike shop, started in this area to help service those bicyclists coming through? So it's so much market potential for us, and, it can create so many jobs for us down the road. So
yes,
really looking forward to that.
It will be absolutely fantastic. And on that on that subject, I just seen a blip last week from Mike Sutherland, who is, works for the Department of Natural Resources. Okay. But he mentioned that and had a interview. You probably read it deeper and know more about it than I do, but it was very positive comment. The most positive I had heard, you know what I'm saying, from a state institution, talking about that things are ready to go, and that's all good news.
Right. So yeah, the Katy Trail was really popular for us last year, and will be this year again. And then we also have the Grand Bluffs Conservation Area. That if you or anyone does not know about the Grand Bluffs Conservation Area, it's at Bluffton, Missouri, which is just in southern Montgomery County. But you literally hike up this bluff, Missouri River Bluff, and you overlook the Missouri River Valley, and it is absolutely amazing. It's a Missouri Department of Conservation nature area that so many people had no idea even existed in our area. So take a drive and take a hike.
I'll go ahead and take the drive. I don't do good on heights,
It is a hike, and there are sections of it that are basically like straight up. I mean, it is.
It's not like Breckenridge 12,000 feet or nothing, but
probably not quite, but it is amazing. You can see into Chamois. You can just see so far. It's absolutely beautiful.
I'm sure that it is, because there are some just spectacular views, even 94, what I'm saying?
Yes,
when you're doing, so if this
right
is
there.
a particular high point, I'm sure that it absolutely,
Yeah, people have come from all over the state because we've really been promoting it, and it's so gorgeous 4 seasons of the year. We even had a photographer go up there during the snow and took pictures. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's a great Sunday afternoon hike, or Monday after the kids get off school, or whatever. It's a great little outing. So release some energy.
Well, I guess in our small world, there is a lot of exciting things happening, because we can see the glass of wine or beer is over half full, and plenty opportunities on the rise. Just promoting what we do and being who we are. Good cooks, good winemakers, and good hospitalists. Is that a word?
Hospitalists, maybe? No, that
yeah,
doesn't sound right either. Hospitality specialists, let's call it.
Okay, well, God, that's way too much for me.
Yeah, and the new business model is sort of to create experiences for people, and that's one of the things that we're really promoting as well. So, like, so many of the businesses are offering classes. So. And just like offering groups. I know you have a group coming here in June, and they're going to have a little 101 about cheese, and I think that's super exciting, and that's what people are looking for. Visitors are looking for experiences and something new. And so we have businesses that are offering, like last night there was an Easter wreath making class that Stacy Curlmeyer did through her business at the Blank Canvas, which is an art gallery and studio in Herman. And so these kinds of experiences are popping up. And we have Market Street Scent Works, which is a new bath and body shop. And they're offering like bath bomb making classes for groups. And it's so much fun. So there's really something for everyone. And whether it's kids or adults or groups of girlfriends or even the guys, there's cigar classes, that we have now in Herman. So it's so exciting, the diversity of what we offer.
Yeah, it is. And it's just interesting to me that, so many of these particular things are cottage industries now again that had started out that way. I mean, it's the way our grandparents grew up, quilting, making sausage, making, wine, doing all the home cooking, canning, the whole bailiwick, gardening of things that they did, and using their creativeness. That's a word, right?
It is at White Mule.
Using their creativeness, in order to produce utility. You know what I'm saying? And it's at the very essence of sustainability.
Right.
You know, it is at that core, and then when you bring in it as a group participant and a teaching element and a learning experience, it is that golden thing that everybody wants to put in, that life experience that they enjoy doing or learned how, that becomes part of them.
Right, and I think maybe it's Pinterest that, you know, has really like picked people's interest to like try new things, try new experiences, learn to do something new. You know, like we have 2 new quilt shops in town that just opened, one in December and one in February, I believe. And
2 new what? I'm sorry.
quilt shops.
Oh, quilts.
Quilt and fabric shops. So we had 0, now we have 2, and they both complement each other so well. One does like more of the classes, the sewing classes as an experience, and she's getting booked out on pillow making or making a quilt, you know, quilt top. Super exciting that she's offering these classes 1 or 2 times a week. And then the other quilt shop actually has the long arm quilting machine. So she does the actual quilting. And so it's really exciting that they complement each other so well, compete to a certain degree, but when you talk about complementing each other in that small of a town, when you open within 2 months of each other, it's fantastic. And last week we were fortunate enough to have a last minute opportunity to get the Missouri Bicentennial quilt here. And people came from all over the state and even Kansas to see this quilt, the Bicentennial quilt. And we also had the 4-H Bicentennial quilt. So each shop had a quilt, and they got to see so many new people from all over the state, and we were able to promote this idea of quilting and getting back to some of those things that we used to know when Mom made all of our clothes, or Grandma did.
And brought to you by Facebook and other social media. I mean, that is the thing. You say it, and you said it was maybe not a totally planned thing, long-term thing. Cheap, you know, I mean, you can put it on there, people experience it, they want to do it. It's unique in regard to what they do. But the quilt thing is intriguing me, because just last 2 weeks ago, there was a couple here from Washington, Missouri, and I kind of knew who the family of the guy was, and his wife was a young retired veterinarian from Kansas. She just opened a quilt shop down in Washington and was talking about her portfolio of in her Facebook that she would be getting stuff from all globally, you know what I'm saying, selling and working and putting together these particular things. And I'm thinking, well, you know, this is the right area, because we know what kind of diligence that these older generation German ladies did, and I hope somebody continues that. Probably not me, but do you quilt? I'll bet you.
I used to embroider, but now I just don't have time to do it. I wish I did, because it's very relaxing and I love the end result. But I've made many embroidery blocks, and Mom has pieced them together for me and quilted them, or we've had people quilt them for us. But Mom was working on
Your mom still does.
Oh yeah, Mom was working on a quilt last night. She was binding for a friend of ours.
You know, that's a lifelong thing. They stay doing that until arthritis or whatever. But I mean, they and Mom did the embroidery also, so she would do that, and that cross stitching, or is that right?
It could be cross stitch.
Yeah, well, you ought to know, right? Your baby's got stuff coming. I guarantee you, the mom's been gone, you know, a long time, but she made these things and then turned them into quilts for, you know. I think we still got some left, even though we've had more grandkids than we thought, but there'll be plenty of Grandma.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that COVID did to us last year. One of the positive outcomes of it was that so many people stayed at home. They got back to nature, got back to their grassroots, and really learn new things. And that's what I think so many people are wanting to learn more about this and learn more about that. And I think that's one of the reasons why, like, these businesses offering experiences, they want to learn more and expand their horizons, really. And you can expand your horizons so much right here in Gascony County, and it's so exciting.
And once you experience that, it's sustainable. It becomes part of you, because it's like any other thing where you're a learning thing and you're, you know, kind of been exposed to something. It just opens up
Yeah.
all kind of new
Yeah,
avenues.
you learn quality. You know, we have a new bed and breakfast that it was a bed and breakfast, but it's sold, and so the new owners are really promoting it as farm to table breakfast. So they're getting their bacon locally, they're getting their eggs locally, they're making their own butter. You know, some really cool stuff. So once you try that homemade butter, there's just nothing else like it, right? So I think they're going to get a lot of repeat
If they got the
customers.
butter and somebody makes the bread,
Right?
I'm going
The
there.
homemade jelly. I mean, wow. I mean, that's what people are looking for. I mean, we just really love quality, and you know, I think price isn't as a much of a concern anymore for some people. So you're willing to pay a couple extra dollars or like $10 for something that is of really good quality. So you know, and you're supporting your friend or neighbor or your host that suddenly becomes your friend for life. So
Well, and honestly, Tammy, in those choices, you know, that we have to make as consumers, you know, what is the difference? I mean, when you can spend the weekend, you know what I'm saying, in Gasconade County, bed and breakfast very very reasonable. You know, I mean, there's
Sure.
price differentials in that, but you can come into that at any particular level that you feel
Yep.
comfortable with. You know, food, wine, you know, at different levels, but really cheap. In all honesty, I mean, where else can you go and find the food quality that you have and the experience you have any more reasonable than you can in our area? It's just, you know,
Yes.
it's just not there.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, the bigger picture here is, what is the difference? You know, what is the difference, you know, with the money being spent today, you know, in buying a new car or the RVs that are out there, or any of these other things? You know, what's a couple $100 on the weekend? It is absolutely nothing when you work hard, you know, for what you do, and you want to put that back in to be sustainable.
right. I mean, I think so many people are reinvesting those dollars back into their families and back into those new traditions, and really quality of life has become a lot greater, and the respect for our own quality of life has become a lot greater in the last year. So I think a lot of people are investing highly in their quality of life and their experiences for themselves and for their families.
Well, I know that you've got a lot going on in Herman. I just know that you do because you know you have. And last time you were here, we talked about a lot of your marketing had, you know, because of COVID, had centered on you know, getting people out during the week, a sharp break from wherever they are to get out and during the week, and it had really changed the paradigm. You know, in Herman, you put, you know, a lot more people in that community in a lot better setting because bed and breakfast people, shop owners can spend quality time with those individuals, which does nothing other than do what we do.
Right.
And that's tell our story, which, you know, it's good for everybody. It helps them create sales. Still, are you on this continual effort, I bet, to make that a unique experience and make sure everybody knows you're open 7 days a week?
Absolutely. We are really promoting heavily our Sunday through Thursday and really promoting those experiences. We had one bar, the 1837 Cellar Bar. They just went, they're starting to actually offer music on Wednesday nights. They were Thursday through Sunday, but they're doing 5 days a week now so that those midweek customers can come in and have an enjoyable evening out on the patio or down in their cellar bar. Those, I mean, that's business expansion. That's not happening in every community throughout the country or throughout Missouri. So we are super excited about any of the weekday experiences like these classes that I talked about. If there's not one scheduled, these businesses are willing to do a special class for your group, you know, whether it be a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We just have to work it out in advance. And we're getting more and more requests for information and people wanting to come to town to do those experiences even during the week, and even seeking out those weekdays when it is a little safer and a little less crowded, so they do have a better experience. I know last year about this time, I had a conference call that I was on with TripAdvisor, and they told us that Visitors are going to go to places where they trust the people, they know they're going to be safe in your hands. And that is one thing that we as small business owners in our rural community, we have that. We get that trust from our customers, from the urban areas, and they came because they trusted us and they wanted to see us. Like I said earlier, once they are in your business once, they leave as friends basically. So, and they start following you on Facebook and then they keep up with you, and then they not just come once a year, but they come twice a year. They might start coming 3 times, 4 times a year, because you become their place, you become their safe place. And that's who we've all become, and that's who we want to continue to be. We want to be that safe place for people to come and enjoy the beauty around us.
That's those are great thoughts, Tammy, and it's true. I mean, you come home to grandma's, and you continue to go home to grandma's. The family does, their offspring does, cousins and whatever. They do go there because of that unique experience, but the bottom line of it is, it's the safest place you know.
Right, it's home base.
It's home base. The whole dang family's going to be there, And, it is that comfort zone that, where else can you experience that? You know what I'm saying? That kind of, I mean, I know that it happens in big cities and those particular things, but there's just so many tangible, integrated, touchable points that hit every element. You know what I'm saying? When we're like our thing Sunday. Why did I bring it up? I don't know. Because it was a good experience, and you know what I'm saying.
Right.
It was family, and it was a good, safe place to be. So
Absolutely, we take those things for granted, I think. But up until last year, maybe not as much for granted. So now we really appreciate those more and more.
Yeah, there's no question about it. That said, yesterday or day before yesterday, Mom and I went and got our first shot, at East Central, and a good experience, that was there, a lot of people, and that is going to be a game changer as we move forward, through this COVID, that getting older people or middle-aged people or whatever we are, getting them the confidence, of having these double shots and seeing these numbers that are coming in. Very, very, very positive, for us as we move forward in this. And even though a lot of the changes that we've seen, because of that probably won't change, but I think all of those positive changes we want to keep.
Right, absolutely. That's one of the neat things that has happened over the course of the last year also. We found out that there's other ways to do business. We know that there's other ways to market our business, and we know that there's other ways to sell things. And there's so many things that have changed that, wow, it's like, why didn't we think of that 10 years ago? It made things so much more efficient or made our lives so much better, not having to drive to all of these meetings or workshops, or maybe for school in some people's cases, whatever it may be, but not just shifting gears and figuring out new ways made us all better in so many ways.
Very much more productive, and we older people knew that a long time ago, you know what I'm saying? We that have been around the block would make a call to somebody we knew that did those things and say, hey, give me a thumbnail of this or that or whatever, or go to the internet and do, your own research, because this, of a 2-hour presentation, there's at least an hour and 60 minutes of it. Let's say an hour and 50 minutes of that we hear time and time and time and again, and we don't need it.
Yeah.
We need the core of those things, and that's what Zoom, and that's what a lot of these particular things. Not the discussion is not important, because it truly, truly is. Mm-hmm. But you can have an hour meeting and save yourself a day, by having that and forgetting all the drive time.
Right, and I think so many of the hallway discussions are very important. I know I've learned a lot in the hallways,
I do too.
Here and there at all of our meetings, but But last year was just an opportunity to take a step back, regroup, figure out where you want to go with your business, or with your community, or whatever, with your own life or your own family. And I think that there's been a lot of reevaluation, and I'll be very interested to see how many people continue their 2020 core values into 2021 and beyond, and see how that really changed their lives, not just in the short term, but in the long term as well.
There is a big bill coming our way on infrastructure, and we don't know if it will or if it won't, or what exactly will be that, but we are all about the roads and bridges, in our, particular vision and what we do. Having, what can I say, the right amount of accessibility, and that doesn't mean, what I'm saying, and necessarily a 4-lane road going out here. I mean, it is what it is, and that's fine. But having accessibility, having safe passages to travel, and having choices to make in your travel is extremely important. And I bring that up because I look at the river, that laid down before us on the northern Gasconade County. When I was in the courthouse, looked at it. Every day that I was there, I took a special time, just to walk out there. I guess I was smoking. No, maybe I wasn't. I had quit. But maybe the spit. And maybe I was chewy. I probably was. But anyway, you could spend hours there. But why are we not using that? Is there any discussion, what I'm saying, in regard to what future this waterway has because of it? Because I looked this morning, I had Googled one time the Rhine River Valley on my bucket list to do. So every month or two they send you this booklet on, and it just, to me, it's going to be awesome when it does come, and it will come.
Yes. Actually, we in some of our marketing have used the hashtag America's Rhineland, because we are essentially the Rhineland, of Germany, right here in the heart of America. And so the river is so important. We actually have it's been going on for like 2, 3, 4 years. It's an organization of business, like destinations along the last 100 miles of the Missouri River. So from Herman down to St. Charles, it's called Missouri River Country. We have our own Facebook page, we have our own website. We're promoting all those last 100 miles of the Missouri River, because there's so many things you can do and see. There's camping along the river. We're so excited that New Haven has now a business called Paddle Stop, and they are offering kayak rentals and canoe rentals, but mostly kayak, because they build them.
Don't have a motor on them, do they, Grace?
Nope.
Downstream then, there we go.
But what a neat experience. They'll bring the kayaks up to you at the boat ramp at the Missouri River at Herman, or even at Gasconade if you would choose to do a longer float, and then they'll pick you up right there in New Haven. And so what a great outing. And
it is. Last
year they did the first full moon of every month. They did a moonlight ride in the afternoon, or moonlight paddle, where they got on the river about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the evening, and would paddle from Herman down to down to New Haven. And so what a great experience that we have to offer, and what great utilization of our river. And I knew when I came on board a little over 3 years ago, we were not promoting the river as a tourism opportunity. And so having them come on board, promoting the boating and the fishing more, has only probably just begun. So.
Well, I totally, and that's, I don't think there's any question about it, because another one of those passionate outdoor family activities that people invest, in those things, but mainly in their investing in their time and their family by doing it. So I can see, I can absolutely see those boating outings, what I'm saying, coming in I'm not a river person. If you don't, I don't know if you understand that or not, but if you don't grow up there, I mean, I love it, but if you don't understand the nuances of it. But those that experience that water and know what they're doing, it's going to be a great thing.
It's so wonderful to be on the river and, to see those bluffs as you're going up and down the river. I mean, what beauty that we actually have. One of my goals is to float every river in Missouri. Not necessarily, I don't know that I'm ready to float the Missouri or the Mississippi, but I want to float all the little rivers. And so I'm trying to check those off my list. Some of the rivers,
two of them start right here.
Yeah.
Well, Second Creek goes out of way and the Beth goes this way. So,
I don't know about the creeks. We got creeks on our
you'll
farm.
get to the river. You might have to get one of those kayaks.
Yeah.
And
It's easier to
you
rent.
might have to walk about, 35 miles. There was a little short story, though. There was a family, well, not a family member, but a community member that lived in New Haven. And his farm was right down here on the Beth. And often on a Sunday afternoon at the right time of year, he would walk up the Beth Creek, all the way from New Haven to his homestead. And then, that's intriguing,
Absolutely.
It's just...
A walk up the creek can do a lot for the body, mind, and soul.
No question about that at all. So those are great experiences that make this unique to us, and it's fun to be part of it and at least know about what the history and what has happened here over the past 6 generations that we've been around.
Right.
I don't know if the Brookerhoff's been here that long, but probably even longer. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't remember exactly what year the Brookcrafts
Yeah.
came from Germany, but
Well,
many generations.
yes, no question. So we got a spring agenda here, I know, coming up in Herman. May has always been the MyFest. That's when everything started, at one particular time. Still a big event, but many more sub-events around that, isn't there?
Absolutely. So Herman used to be just MyFest, not just, but mainly
much,
MyFest and Oktoberfest. But now we're so busy, like 40 weekends of the year, there's almost something going on every weekend. So if you go to our website, visitherman.com, our calendar of events in the last 2 weeks is getting very full. So the wineries are adding music, the distilleries are adding music, breweries adding music, experiences for classes, all kinds of things going on. So we're really excited about how much is on the calendar this year. And the MyFest this year, because the planning has to start like in the fall basically, or last year, we weren't real sure where MyFest was going to be yet in the COVID factor. So we're having a modified MyFest. The JCs are still doing their beer garden out at the Upper City Park, so that's exciting. We have a new thing where we used to have the Volksblatts on the Schiller Street,
Yes.
but we've moved. We've had a local volunteer to organize a makers market in the amphitheater. So
Maker's Mark?
a makers, well, there will be some of that, sort of. So it has to be handcrafted or handmade products that will be for sale at vendor booths in the amphitheater, and we'll also have she's got bands lined up throughout the day. So the Hungry Five, which so many people associate as our German band, as our Herman band.
Oompa band, we used to call it
right?
Oompa.
So they will be making an appearance. So go to visitherman.com and look at that schedule. So
Are there still a lot of original members in that
there's a
band?
few. There's a few.
Is John still in it?
He is.
Okay.
Yes. He's the instigator.
I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's super exciting, and keeping those traditions alive, like the MyFest, and keeping our German.
You still have the
heritage alive.
dancers too?
We're
German.
We don't know if they're gonna make an appearance or not.
Okay.
So
I understand.
We have the adult.
Some of those are getting older too,
Sure, right?
but-
We have the adult Wurstjägers.
Yes.
And then we also have the junior Wurstjägers that normally would perform at 4th and Schiller in front of the Historic Herman Museum, the German school, as many people know it. Not sure if if that's going to happen yet or not. So that's COVID. It's just
I know,
last minute. How people
last minute
pull
and
things
so many
together.
different changes and
So-
activities, and those things just don't happen. They require a lot of practice. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? A lot of togetherness.
Absolutely. So,
And,
so that normally would be like the sixth graders that would get together and learn those dances. But, I think there's concerns there still.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
There's no question about it. Well, any time is a good time to come to Gascony County. Any time's a good time to come, to Herman, of course. The events are there. The antiquing, situation we haven't talked about a lot, but it is at the core of our culture, core of who we are, and if nothing more, it really gets you in touch with where we come from and what elements are still there. And I don't care, that can range from, the horse and buggy, to the cooking,
Yeah.
tools that you had
Or the
to use.
records.
Or the record. Are they antique? No, I never put them in my.
we have
Those
one of our,
45s?
yeah, we have one of our antique.
God,
magazines.
Gracie.
Yeah, right?
I don't think records are still antique, Tammy. Come on now,
It's getting there. Vintage.
I understand the word.
Exactly. You feel the word. So we have one of our antique malls that actually has a huge collection of records. And so he'll have them on eBay, but he also sells them out of the storefront. But what a trip down memory lane for so many people. So people can
Yes.
spend hours and hours in his store. So.
Yeah, that's wow.
Good stuff.
It is awesome stuff. So we're going to take a little break here, and then we're going to come back and talk with Tammy Berkerhoff. And your title again
I'm
is
the Tourism and Economic Development Director for the City of Herman.
the Tourism Economic Director for the City of Herman, i.e. the lady, that does so much for our community and our area. And we always appreciate the time we spent with her here at the White Mule, whether it's I missed you the other night. I didn't miss you, but I didn't get to spend much time with you. But appreciate everything she always does for all of us in our area, because whether you know it or whether you don't, with things happening in our general vicinity, and I'm talking about at, down the river, Marthasville, there is a huge investment being made that is going to have a global, quick impact, in my opinion, on what happens to our area. I mean, you can't spend these kind of dollars, and I don't know all the intricate details, but, local people, that grew up here, that is investing absolute fortunes into, doing what we do, even on a larger scale. And it's going to change an awful lot of things and keep an awful lot of things the same,
Absolutely.
So.
Well, thank you for the kudos, but it truly is my pleasure and my honor to promote this beautiful area and represent all the businesses and the organizations in this beautiful area. Well, I mean, really, what a dream job.
And Karen, I don't follow a lot of this, but she said you guys got a new business thing now with do you know what it was?
Yeah, we've started a partnership program. With the Visit Herman brand. So a lot of people didn't realize that Visit Herman is actually our brand that we all fall under, and so we have a partnership program now for the Visit Herman brand. So very exciting, and looking to promote our partners that are part of us and who we should be promoting. So very exciting. We have our. Are we taking a break or are we keeping going here?
Who knows? We're still on the air, I think.
Okay,
Don't keep going.
yeah,
I looked at my watch wrong. In all honesty, when I looked at it, I thought, well,
okay,
we
very
got
good.
15 minutes left, and Gracie won't take that much.
Okay, very good. So
let's keep on going here on KTUI 1560 AM 94.1
this is how we get
FM.
when we get together.
Yes.
So we produced a visitor guide this year promoting all of our partners that we have in the Visit Herman program, some of the experiences that we have. So these, this is called the Willkommen for those that are listening and not watching us on Facebook, but it's the
Which stands for welcome?
Welcome in German, of course. So promoting our beautiful courthouse and the scenery, and then on the back, our beautiful river and the family experiences that you can have along our river. But 24 pages of beauty and listing our businesses and some of the experiences that you can have in the Herman area. So this is available on our website on visitherman.com, and it's so you can actually flip through it on our website. And if you click on a business name, it'll take you to their website. So this is
Awesome.
a huge upgrade that we did for the brand this year.
Very well did. I could just watching you as you flip through this thing.
We're
and,
very fortunate. We have a new designer who moved to town. She's a graphic artist, and she and her husband are actually entrepreneurs as well. They're starting a distillery in town, and so we're very fortunate to have this level of art ability, graphic design ability, and we've got just beautiful pictures that luckily we received some CARES Act funding last year, and we utilized a lot of that funding to get very high quality photos and video. And so now we have a wonderful library that we can pull from. And you know, when you're like looking for a picture to post on Facebook or to use in an ad when somebody calls, I had a very small library, but this has absolutely, we've made it to almost every business to capture a picture or 10
awesome.
or 20. We've made it to many of the businesses, not all, but that way we had all these beautiful pictures, and this offered us the opportunity to put them together in a promotional visitor guide. So if anyone can go to our website now and sign up for our e-newsletter, which we're ramping up our e-newsletter also. Another goal that I've had since I came on board 3 years ago, to get our e-newsletter out there, because those are people who want to know more about our region and know more about what's new, what's going on, and you know what restaurants open this weekend, and so this is going to be great, and we'll get this to visitor centers all over the state of Missouri, as well as Amtrak stations up and down the Amtrak line, and hopefully so many people will see it online. You can even print it online, and like I said, you can flip through it online. It's just wonderful. We're really excited.
Is there anybody that you know still does you know, like a history seminar or you know, a discussion in a, like maybe at the school or somewhere at the auditorium that talks about all the history of Herman and does that on a continual basis, that is there, let's say, you know, on a Friday night or whenever. Is there anybody that does that continually?
You know, it's amazing what people ask us, and I bet if I got that question asked me, I would be able to find somebody who would be able to do that for
Really?
us. Yeah, because what is exciting is we are starting to hear from bus tour group operators
Right.
and those kind of group operators that are asking for, do you have this experience that we could offer to our visitors? And I think that once we can start to get back into doing groups, like our Showboat Theater will pick up doing events, and you know, not just theater, but they would have guest speakers in as well. But super excited that the Historic Herman Museum is going to be opening again next weekend, I believe. And then Stonehill Winery is supposed to start giving their cellar tours again this year, which, you know, that's the largest network of underground cellars in North America.
Yes, wow.
And that is just amazing to me that we have that right here in Gasconade County. But their history tour is so amazing. So I recommend taking that tour like every 4 or 5 years, just to like regroup and refresh, because you learn something new every time you go on the tour, and the cellars change as well, as you know, in the production world. So,
Sure.
So there is so much history, and that is one of the things that we want to continue to promote is our history. I think when I was here last time, we talked about the Caboose Museum that opened up, which has a nice little, it's open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. basically down by the Amtrak station, and so you can learn about the history of steam engines in Herman and trains, and And then also you can go to our Firehouse Museum. That's kind of a preset, call Bruce Cox, who's our mayor, who's also the curator of the Herman Fire Museum at the Firehouse on 2nd Street. Some of the most beautiful equipment dating back to the mid-1800s that was built in Herman, and such treasures that we have that are now in a museum. And if you've not taken that tour, set up a time to get with Bruce and take that tour of the museum. It's absolutely beautiful and stunning.
So if you are wanting to get into that second level of history, or that extra effort in regard to learning something specific, you're the person to contact.
Yeah, I would be happy.
I mean, if you got a group, or
Yes.
and those groups form all the time,
Right,
and
right.
they're, if it, John Deere bee clubs, or whatever that happens to be out there,
Yeah.
there are. The social media has brought those people together, and they're always looking.
Right, and yeah, just contact me through the website or just call the city office, and happy to work with any groups to get a whole itinerary set up. That's what we do, and very happy to do that. And that way we can help schedule like wine tastings at
Sure.
wineries, or meals at wineries or restaurants or wherever it might be, and that way you have an itinerary set up. And yeah, we need to get back to that. We have a lot of people asking about Christmas already, which is really exciting. So I hope by Christmas we'll be back to normal, and we'll have every opportunity back open.
I do think so, and we were having a family discussion about us getting the vaccine and those particular things, and I don't know really anything about this situation, but we were talking about the more global situation in regard to what is the necessity of these shots. I mean, older people, absolute. That's just my opinion. I think it is an important step to do, but I respect those that say that we would rather not for whatever particular reason. But when we're talking about the younger people, I don't know this necessarily, but I think that there are going to be certain, and I don't say that I like them, but I do kind of understand them, certain travel mandates, you know what I'm saying, that could be out there, from some particular countries and some particular travel things, and that we need to understand as a society that there are no walls when you're in the Chicago airport of where people are coming from or where they're going to. So if there becomes a mandate, you know what I'm saying, that you must have a shot, to travel, understand what they're trying, using their best science to try to figure out. So
Yeah.
I don't know whether it will or will not, but I know that if I was wanting to go to the Rhine Valley, you know what I'm saying, probably showing proof of vaccination across, or even maybe shorter than that, might be part of the criteria we have to look at.
Right, it could be very global. And on the local level, what we really tried to do this year was we did a spreadsheet that in the top purple bar on visitherman.com, it said COVID-19 business updates, where we kept the days and hours of operation for everyone. And like last year this time, businesses were like slowly closing, changing their hours, trying to adapt. And so we were changing that spreadsheet almost daily for business to business to business, and it took a long time for some businesses to figure out how they were going to handle and the social
Well, it's still hard. It's a daily thing that you still do.
And so we actually are keeping that up to date. I've changed it twice this week for businesses, but we've now changed it to business hours at a glance, just to kind of give a new sense of refreshment and to inspire people to come a little bit more to Herman and not feel like that there is such stringent practices in place, but some of our businesses are still holding with what they had in place 6 and 8 and 10 12 months ago. Some are loosening up a little bit, and so this communication tool, this spreadsheet, has been imperative because we have directed visitors to it almost daily, and especially in the beginning and last year during tourism season, all the time. Whether it was for the campgrounds, people coming for the RV parks, whatever it might be. But, you know, it was
And this
great.
is why entrepreneurs do what entrepreneurs do, because they don't like the color within the lines, you know, and they like to make their own rules, and so be it. That's the freedom that we have in this country. That's, you know, the freedom that we support, you know, whatever your decision is to do, and that's what makes us unique. So glad you try to track all of that, Tammy.
Yeah,
That's,
it's been a challenge, but I've had help, and so that has been wonderful. But it has been such an imperative tool for us to have, because it just it's been such a great communication tool that our visitors really, really appreciate, and we'll probably keep it up for
Sure,
quite a long time.
sure.
And you know, you don't know what you don't know. So if you're going to walk into a restaurant, you need to know what you're going to be facing.
And you know, it only takes a split second to go there and look and see whether or not their protocol meets your fancy.
Right.
You know, and what you do, and you avoid, you know, putting yourself or your family in any circumstance that you're not, you know, totally comfortable with.
Absolutely.
Now, Gracie, sorry, Tammy.
We're good.
We're talking with Tammy Brookerhoff from the city of Herman, and we're going to take a little break here on KTUI 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, or Facebook Live, and let Gracie tell us what else is going on in our neck of the woods this wonderful Easter weekend that we have coming our way.
Alrighty, the Rosebud Community Park Association First Responder is having an Easter egg drive-through Saturday, April 3rd from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Rosebud Park. Eggs and prizes for children 12 and younger.
Easter Bunny is on his way.
He's busy. Yep.
And he got a lot of eggs to hide
Yes,
and
he
color,
does.
you know.
Yep. The Rosebud Memorial American Legion Post 587 is having a barbecue fundraiser Saturday, April 10th. That'll be $10 per plate, and that'll be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. They'll be serving pork steaks, sausage, baked beans, and potato salad plus dessert, and that will be carry-out only. The Owensville Lions Club is having a drive-through only shrimp and fish fry Friday, April 2nd from 4 until 7 p.m. Adult plate is $9, and that will be at the Owensville Lions Hall. Zelch Welding and Zelch Farms is having a Bluegrass Music Day Saturday, May 8th. That'll start at 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. That is on Highway T outside of Rosebud. Free admission. Food and drinks are available. And they'll have live bluegrass music. Bring your lawn chairs.
That is a unique little historic place that Clyde has put together there, and it's worth the afternoon to look what he has there, and the bluegrass. It's a big draw. You know, the bluegrass has their own culture, and it's very cool.
Mm-hmm. This Friday night at the White Mule, we will be serving steak, salmon, shrimp, and beef kebabs from 5 until 8:30. Saturday, we will be serving our steaks, pizza, wings, and hamburgers from 5 until 8:30 as well. And then Sunday, we will be closed for Easter, so spend the day with your family on Sunday.
Those are steaks that you cut with a butter knife, right?
They are.
They are. You don't need a steak knife out here.
You
right?
think not?
Oh, no.
I'm glad to see you the other night, and you know, sorry I didn't get to visit with you, but
You're popular.
yeah, I don't know about that, lady.
Well loved and respected in the community, for sure.
But it's fun, you know what I'm saying, and you know, I did all the protocols of COVID. No hugging, no high five.
Yeah.
But you know, we do what we can do, and we do when we can. So a lot going on here this weekend, but especially one special thing coming up, the most special this weekend for those of us believers. Spend time with the Almighty, giving thanks and praise to Him and your family. Just that's what all this comes down to. You know what I'm saying is that those elements that he promoted so successfully, and he lived it. Thank him, and thanks for being part of our community. Thanks for being part of our family. Thanks for being part of our area. And get out and spend some really quality time this Easter weekend to celebrate the things that are worth celebrating. And Tammy, it's always good to see you.
Thank you. You too.
Good to see you, and
Great
welcome back anytime. And good to see you next week. I know we got guests lined up here for a while, so.
I believe it's Ryan Okenfoos next week.
Okay, we'll talk a little sports and then other things coming your way. So God bless you. Have a blessed Easter, and we'll see you here next week.
To our economy and security. Newsmax TV is one of America's leading cable news channels. It's on all major cable systems. If you don't get it, call your cable operator. Tell them you want Newsmax, or you'll switch to